I've started this video in my head more times than I can count, and till this very moment I can't find a way that it's not super cringe to me, so I'd better just get on with it. And a small warning in advance, this is going to be a longer video than what I usually plan to create, but it's very important for me to set up the tone in a proper way from the very beginning for this channel so you know what to expect. So hello friend and welcome to my channel, Mindshifters Hub. My name is Paulina and this is my introductory video for this channel. Before I go into who I am exactly and why you might be interested in listening to what I have to share, I would like to first give my answer to the first question of the title of this video. Is it too late to start a YouTube channel? Well, obviously the short answer to this question is no, since I'm doing it at this very moment, but why I believe this is true. Since you're watching this video now, chances are you have seen this type of content before, and in almost every single one of these videos they mention this one thing, and it circles around the idea that even though it sometimes can feel saturated and like everyone is doing it, the YouTube creator space will only grow as the demand for it grows. The new technologies are changing the way that we look for and perceive information and entertainment. Therefore, there should still be plenty of opportunity for everyone who wants to join it. And although I believe this is to be true, I have another reason, more important reason, I believe it will never be too late to start such type of endeavor, especially if it's done in an honest and genuine way. As a complete novice at this, as you will find out later in the video, I couldn't be further away from being a digital entrepreneur or a creator. I have installed in me a very deep core belief, and that is that it's not necessarily that impactful what it is said, but by whom and how. So what do I mean by that? Has it ever happened to you that you would have this problem in your life and your family and friends would be constantly giving you this piece of advice that on an intellectual level you would agree with them? Yeah, this is a genuinely good and a reasonable advice, but you will never actually act on it. Not until you hear it from a complete stranger or you read it or hear it somewhere else, that in that specific moment it hits different and you have a realization that makes you change your behavior and solve that problem. This happened to me many times. The reason this can often happen is not because the people around us would give us this piece of advice in the worst kind of way, but rather sometimes it just doesn't trigger an emotional response within us. And this is the most important thing for us as humans if you want to be impacted in a meaningful way. If we're not emotionally involved and influenced by an idea, we could be given the best knowledge in the world and it will do absolutely nothing for us. This is why I believe each and every one of us have a unique perspective for solutions to different issues and struggles. And only by sharing them with each other, we can help one another. For example, I have been consuming personal growth information for almost a decade now, and combined with my unique life experiences and background, I have unique takeaways from that content, mixing different ideas and tools to solve my own problems. And even if there is a single person on this planet that have consumed the same information at the same moment in time, chances are they will have completely different insights and application of that knowledge. And each perspective can be beneficial to different people. So in other words, our unique type of expression and communication of ideas can impact people we have never met before, just because for whatever reason they can specifically resonate with the way that we present them, the way that we talk, the way that we look like, or just carry ourselves. The same information received from other sources, it's possible to just not make people absorb it internally and emotionally, and therefore it will not prompt action or provoke deep thought process. This is why it's a good thing now to automatically dismiss someone who is trying to communicate ideas we have already heard before, because we never know if the little twist that this person can add to that idea is not going to be the little thing that sparks a process of changing our lives. It's not always the grandiose things that start a change in the way that we think. Having said all that, I believe it is a good moment to share a little bit more about myself and why I have decided to start a YouTube channel. I don't want to bore anyone with my life story, so I will try to mention whatever I believe it is relevant to the channel. But it is really important for me when I share anything here for people listening to know the place I'm coming from and what's the context behind all of it. So once you know more about me and why Mindshifters Hub was created, maybe you will stick around, maybe even subscribe to find out something useful in the videos to come. I was born, raised and still living to this day in Southeast Europe in a small country on the Balkan Peninsula. You don't have to know where that is exactly, but in a few moments I'm going to explain why this small detail about me it's very important when it comes to intentionally changing my mindset. The other important things worth mentioning about me are that I'm 35 years old, I'm a mother of a small child, a wife, and an accountant in a big corporation, but also someone who has been obsessed with personal growth for the past 10 years. And this is where my origin comes into play. I'm going to give you a very brief history lesson, but please bear with me, it will all make sense in the end, I promise. My country has more than 13 centuries of very rich history of ups and downs. And when I say ups and downs, I mean from being absolute hegemon in the region sometime in the Middle Ages till not existing as an official state for more than 5 centuries, just existing as a nation, surviving it as a nation within another empire. So in our more than 1300 years of history, we have a lot of ancestral trauma passed down from generation to generation. And in more recent years, another trauma, 50 years of the communist regime in the country in the second half of the 20th century. Exactly 1 year before the regime fell, I was born. And let me tell you, I feel bad for my parents and what they had to go through raising little children in that period. The transition to democracy in my country in the 1990s, the first 10 years of my life, my most formative years of my life, was a complete chaos. This was a decade of uncertainty, scarcity, extreme poverty, hyperinflation that caused people to lose their lifelong savings just in a few days and weeks, complete collapse of the economy, absolute corruption of the government, almost obviously run by the mafia, war in neighboring countries. It was complete madness, and I vividly remember those things. And I have two amazing and loving and intelligent and super smart parents. I love them to pieces and I admire everything that they have done for me and everything that they have accomplished in their lives. But because of the time they had to raise me, they installed in me so deeply the notion of looking for security and stability, going down a prescribed life, which was their idea of success. So I say all of this because I want you to really understand how deeply this mindset was rooted in me. It wasn't just my family, it was the whole country. And all of my friends were doing exactly the same thing, and I had no one as a good example of doing something outside of this matrix. Good school, go to university, get a degree that will ensure a stable job, pursue a career that would pay good enough money to buy a house and raise a family, no risk-taking, no self-inquiry of what I would actually like to do with my life. I did not even realize I had other choices. The words that I was raised with were, life is tough and hard, every day is a struggle, so I need to make sure I'm as secure as possible. The emphasis was on the survival, the physical survival. So fast forward to when I became 25 years old and I had just gotten my first corporate job 10 years ago. Up until that moment, I hadn't come across the personal growth industry, but one day I accidentally picked up the book Quantum Warrior by John Kehoe and my mind was completely blown away. The idea that I could shape my future, that I could choose my path in life, I could become whatever I wanted with enough focus and determination, It was like I found a key piece of a puzzle that I didn't even realize I was trying to solve. And from that moment on, I embarked on a journey down a rabbit hole of self-discovery that continues to this very day. It took me years of journaling, self-reflection, contemplating and analyzing to better understand myself and why I was thinking the way I did. I became obsessed with the idea of the growth mindset and how to change my core beliefs. I have somewhat succeeded, but I still have a long way to go that I would love to share with more people, and this is the main reason why Mindshifter Hub was created. You see, I have realized that there are a lot of people here on YouTube, very successful people, that share their life-changing experiences that came from great pain. Usually it seems that they had reached this very low point moment in their life, that after which they were forced to change due to that great pain. They usually can pinpoint this very painful cathartic moment in their life when they said enough is enough. And no doubt this can be very painful and unpleasant experience, to put it lightly. I would argue that it's easier to change this way. To reach personal rock bottom and be forced externally to either change our mindset and how we go about everything in life, or face life filled with misery and more pain, the choice is obvious. Everyone will at least try to change something. In my case, this has never happened. Yes, the times when I was growing up were bad, but still I had a wonderful childhood thanks to my family. And from the moment I became a grown-up, I started checking off that list one by one all the things that were expected of me to get a good life. Got the degree in finance, started the corporate climb, got married, took out a mortgage to buy my own home, had my kid, paid out the mortgage, but then right after I was supposed to feel fulfilled and just enjoy the rest of my life, I felt so underwhelmed by the thought that this is it. This is what the rest of my life would look like. Working my corporate job, living my average life, but what it's worse, not feeling true to myself. But the bigger issue is that this type of life makes us feel comfortable and content. This is why when we have no great heartache, no extreme challenges or tragedy to push us to change, it is extremely hard to do it from the inside out. I'm constantly fighting the doubt of risking this not bad life for chasing a dream life that may never be. It takes a lot of energy and determination to keep going and resisting the temptation to give up trying to change the way you think and just settle for the easy and familiar living. This is what Mindshifters Hub is going to be all about. Trying to help and encourage one another for people like me who feel can be and do so much more, but are afraid to change the way they think because of the fear they will have to leave the comfort of their current life. Which is not necessarily bad, it's just mediocre. I imagined if I keep living like this, hopefully 50-60 years from now, if I'm on my deathbed, would I have any regrets? My answer was yes, because as much as I love being a mom and a wife, I'm so much more than that. I want to feel joy and fulfillment from what I'm doing every day and how I contribute to people around me. And currently, I'm nowhere near feeling like that. I'm brand new to this experience and I'm going out of my comfort zone so much, but I'm hoping that by starting this endeavor, I can create a small community of people united by the same core value. The idea of acquiring the growth mindset and the ability to shift our mindset in the most productive and satisfying direction possible, as long as it may take, as hard as it can be. I myself am in the process of building the life that I truly want. By doing so here and sharing with all of you all the struggles, all the failures and all the successes, I hope we can help each other out. So now that you know more about me and why Mindshifters Hub was created, I hope you will stick around, maybe even subscribe. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying till the end of this video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.